Hello
Awesome.
and welcome to Taking You to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. I am your host, JP John Paz from the Two Man Power Trip. Of course, joining me, the star of the show, the former WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire himself, Dr. Tom Prichard. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, John. Thanks for asking.
Now, before we kick things off, I got to ask you this question before
I
we
see
get
this.
rolling. I never heard this before, and this is from
Oh,
Steve Kern himself from
okay.
down in FCW. And I said, "Hey, what happened with Doctor Tom down there in FCW?" He said, "You know what? He once told Canyon Seaman to get in the ring with him and take some bumps to see what it was like." So, is that
Yeah.
story true? And how did that go? Like, you actually had a match with him?
Well, I didn't have a match with him, but I showed him how to take some bumps and put some holds on him and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that actually happened. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think he wanted to get in the ring.
And
So
you wanted to be the one to get in the ring with him?
I don't know if I wanted to, but I did. I mean, I didn't mind. But yeah, I did.
So
I don't
like
know if
what
that
did
had any, no, I think it's because I told him he was a flaming friggin' asshole. That could have been the thing that sealed my fate. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But when you said like okay or he says let's get in the ring, you
Hmm.
said all right, let's do it. I'm going to show you how I train the guys.
Sure, exactly, exactly what happened.
So how did it go? Like what he comes in the ring, you literally do a lockup and you start bumping him around?
No, I showed him the bumps first. You do the rolls, you do the flat backs, and the handstand bumps and stuff like that. But then we locked up, and I just showed him some stuff. Yeah,
So how did he take to the bumps though and stuff?
he's a volleyball player. Not the volleyball players aren't tough. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he was used to it. In fact, I know he wasn't used to it, but I mean, I didn't stretch him or beat him up, but I did let him take some bumps. Maybe more than he should have, but yeah.
So was he hurting? Because he's a volleyball player, he's an executive. Was he hurting?
You'd have to ask him that. I don't know if he was hurt or not. I mean, I don't remember him selling too much, but after I think he did maybe a total of 10 black flat back bumps, 10 handstands, 10 rolls. And if you've never taken those bumps before and you don't know how to hit and you tuck in your chin, you know, you tuck your chin, your neck's going to be sore, and especially when you don't know how to do it, and you keep hitting your head on the back of the bat. I don't. Honest to God, I don't know if he was sore or not, but I really don't care. So I don't, I don't care who hears this or what they think. I never liked Canyon Seaman. I thought he was condescending and a real prick. So I really
So
didn't care too much.
you're happy that he's able to take some bumps in there then?
I don't know if I was happy, but I was glad to see that he at least had the balls to take the bumps. But I never cared for Canyon Seaman, and that's on me. I had to realize he was in that spot. He was the executive, but my mindset at that time was totally different than it is now. Uh, but I probably would have done the same. I would have done it the same way if I had had it to do over again because I really didn't like Canyon Seaman too much at all. In fact, not at all. I didn't like him one bit. Yeah,
Hello, Brendan. Hello. Hello, Barbara.
Barbara, I'm doing great.
She said, "This is live, Dr. Tom. This is live."
Live and in living color in front of your naked steaming eyes. Yes, doing.
Ibsen. Yes. John Strider, new member John Strider.
Oh,
Hello,
nice.
John.
All
Nice.
right, cool.
Uh,
So,
just
so when did you talk to Kern?
Tuesday morning actually, because he's got another book coming out, volume two
Yeah,
of the Current Chronicles. So I
good for
talked to
him.
him and I said, "Man, I'm buddies with Dr. Tom. What happened down there in FCW?" He said, "You know what? He told Canyon Seaman off and he told him to get in the ring. He did a bunch of bumps. He said, I think that was the beginning of the end."
Could have been. No, that was definitely when I told him off. That was certainly the beginning of the end, and I shouldn't have done that. But but he didn't understand. Okay, I felt he didn't understand, and I made it clear in no uncertain terms that he was a condescending prick. And at that time in my life, I had no use for condescending pricks.
Right.
So I just I made my bed and I lay in it today. Thank you very much.
Interesting question from Scorch. Good evening, gentlemen. Jesse Ventura says he's negotiating a potential return to WWE. It would be amazing to hear him on color commentary again. What do you think about that? Possibly the return of the body.
I think Jesse was great on commentary, and I think he'd be a great addition to commentary on WWE. I don't know if that would be his role, even an interview guy. I think he'd be great.
Pretty amazing. As soon as Vince is gone, and boom, he might be back in. He's already talking to them about coming back in.
Everybody's back in except me, so that's okay.
Hey, you're one phone call away from Brother Love there. So
Yeah, you see where I'm at.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that phone call will never come. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
he
I'm
doesn't
okay with that.
love you.
Well, I don't know if he
Yeah.
loves me or not, but that's okay.
He loves Cody, but I don't know if he loves Dr. Tom. He loves Cody.
Well, now you're just causing shit.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to do.
But
I feel it.
but to me, Chest the Body, one of the best. Him and Bobby Heenan, the two best color commentary guys ever.
I'd have to agree that Jesse was certainly one of the best color commentary guys ever. And so was Bobby Heenan. Yep.
Magazine, Dr. Tom, there was an urban legend that some wrestling promoters were afraid to release Haku from employment because they thought he would beat them up. Is that actually true?
I'm not sure, but I like the little what is that called? The cocaine bear for president.
Hmm.
What is that called? Right
Wasn't
there.
it Cocaine Bear? Wasn't that the name of the movie?
Yes, it was. But what is that the name of that? The identification
Oh, Avatar.
avatar. Okay, I like the avatar. No,
Well, true.
I don't think I don't know if anybody was that afraid of Haku.
Scary dude, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Scary guy. Maybe the toughest guy ever in the history of the business.
Probably next to Terry Daniels.
Oh my God, Terry Daniels. Wow, I haven't
Sure.
heard that name in forever. Wow.
That's where my mind went. Yeah.
The Avatar thing. There was also a gimmick of Al Snow, by the way. Avatar.
Well, yeah, but I like the avatar of Cocaine Bear for president.
Yes.
I think Cocaine Bear would be great.
Barbara said, "Always good to see you."
Good to see you too, Barbara, even though I can't see you.
Brendan
I
said,
like the
"John, saw
avatar
your
too.
interview with RVD. That was awesome. Thank you, Brendan. Yes, good interview with RVD. That was fun. He's
How was
always
that?
always a good time, RVD. He's always good.
Good.
Anything you ask, nothing is off limits. You could say anything, and he'll give you a response. So he's cool. He's awesome. Not that I would, but he's great.
Yeah. Not that you would what?
Like say something crazy and have him answer it, but
Have him
he's
ask you to pick a hand?
yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
But you say, hey, I don't know, Heyman's cokehead or something, and he'll be like, yeah, and he'll go into a story about how he might have been, or just as an example. Not that he was. I'm just using it
No,
as an
I
example.
don't think I don't think Paul's a cokehead.
No, not at all, not at all. Barbara's saying, how would a young wrestler turn down the advice of Dr. Tom? How would they?
Just not take it. And that's okay.
Has that ever happened before, where somebody's like, I'm not
Sure.
taking your
Oh, it's
advice?
happened lots of times. Lots of times.
When you were agenting a match, has anyone ever said like, "Hey, don't do that spot," and then they said, "Nope, I'm doing the spot anyway"?
No, they never said that. They just did it.
Oh, after they said they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, after we went over it and ixnayed the spot, and then it just happens in the match, and then what are you going to do? What can you do?
Yeah,
Can you
nothing.
beat him up?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Crazy. Ibsen has a question here. For those in New York, New Jersey, Philly area, Dr. Tom will be at the 80s Con this Saturday here in Morristown, New Jersey. Not really a question, more of a statement.
More of a that's a plug. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Should be a good one. 80s
Yeah.
Con. Yes, Morristown, New Jersey.
There's going to be a lot of people there, I'm sure, huh?
Oh yeah, ton.
Good.
Craig
Good,
Seaback,
good.
greetings from British Columbia.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's over on the West Coast, right?
West
BC.
Coast of Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Tom, even this is from Del Mountain, by the way. Even though the name Haku is trademarked by the WWE, Haku still uses it whenever he feels like it because nobody wants to serve him with a cease and desist warning. Is that a fact?
I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I would go ahead and say that I think they're cool with him using his name. I think they would give him that respect to let him use Haku. That's what I believe.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Yeah, he's in good standing with them.
Obviously, when he was in WCW, WCW could have got sued, so they had to make him Ming. So, I mean, obviously that's a different time, but now I'm sure he uses it.
Yeah, it's a different era, different place. You know, we're in the new era. We've been in the new era for a while. So
Love the new era. Very
yeah,
interesting new era going on right now.
yes, it is.
Barbara, Jesse said he tried to form a union in the WWF and Hulk Hogan stooged him out.
Well, I heard that too. That Hogan, yeah, took care of himself.
But did you hear that great Jesse quote
What's that?
about the union? So basically, he does Predator. Vince wants him gone because he's not getting part of the money from Predator. He's all pissed, and he said, "Hey, you try to start a union." So he's basically trying to get rid of Jesse. Jesse's okay with being gone. Arnold Schwarzenegger is friends, obviously, now with Jesse because of Predator, and Jesse's becoming a big name. He says, "Hey, I want you to be in the Running Man." So then he gets him on the Running Man, and now he's in SAG, and now he's basically a full time actor or part time actor. So
Right.
he calls Vince back up, and he goes, "Vince, I don't care about starting a union anymore." And Vince goes, "Why not?" He goes, "I just got another movie role, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think I'm good."
Yeah.
just to further piss off Vince. But obviously he was right. He didn't care about the union anymore because he was in another union.
Right. That's that. When you have the power, why not? I mean, he pissed Jesse off, so why not have Jesse let Jesse have his turn?
Isn't that crazy though? Vince gets pissed because he got a movie role and he can't be a part of it. You know what I mean? Isn't that kind of strange?
Not if you think about the kind of person who a guy like Vince would be, who wants to have control and power. I think that's what it's all about. It's not about the money as much as it is about control and power. I think.
I know Bundy. I mean, he told me about the computer thing. He got to deal with that computer company. I think it was Upstart, Kickstart, whatever the heck it was called.
Whatever it was, yeah.
And he got to deal with them, and he was their spokesman, and he had the pictures and everything else. He said Vince would not let it go for years. Then when they brought him back to WWF in the mid '90s, he thought it was all cool, blah blah. He's about to go out to the ring, and Vince starts laughing. He goes, "Got any more computer deals?" So he still hadn't let it go. 6 years later, still didn't let it go.
Yeah. Well, I've learned that some people are going to be that way, and they're not going to change. Kind of like Canyon Seaman. He's going to be that way until the time he was fired. So that's all right.
I love that Kern told him. Basically, he's like, you're going to get fired. The Canyon Seaman, he's like, "What are you talking? What do you mean?" He's like, "Your days are numbered." And then eventually, he did get fired. So
Well, I didn't know.
he,
I didn't know Steve told him that.
yeah, because he said that towards the end of his run, he couldn't take him anymore. I guess and he just basically said, he's like, "You're going to get fired." And he's like, "Well, what are you talking about? I'm not getting fired." He's like, "Yeah, you are." He's like, "Your usefulness is about to run out."
Yeah, he couldn't get the coffee right. He put two creams instead of one cream, or two creams instead of four creams and a sugar, and
Yes.
one coffee, and he got it all wrong. So because he used to copy and make all the run sheets and everything for everybody and bring them in and then get their coffee and Diet Coke and give them a foot massage or whatever they wanted.
Here is the legendary Cooker himself, Bob Cook. It's more than likely Jesse's talking to them about a Legends deal so they can make action figures and put them in video games, sell T-shirts, and whatever, as opposed to any kind of on-air
Well,
role.
that probably makes sense. That makes
Yep,
a lot of sense. Sure
absolutely,
does. But
absolutely.
but but then again, if you want to go on air, maybe he's up for it. Who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
remember, God, it had to be 10, 15 years ago now. Remember that one time they brought him out for Raw and he called the main event match, but he only knew who Randy Orton was. He didn't know any of the other guys. He's like, that's Bob Orton's kid. It's Randy Orton or whatever.
Right.
That was the only person he knew. But it was cool. It's like they brought him out just for one match.
Right. And Jesse is about the only one who could get away with that.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yes. Bob Cooker. Did you ever wrestle Bob Cook?
No, I never did. But he's one of the matches I show when Bob wrestled Dick Murdoch in TBS Studios, and Murdoch sells a punch and sells and gives Bob a lot more than most people got. And it just shows the respect he had from everybody because Bob could work. And that's something I show new kids at the school and explain that the reason why Dick Murdoch is the top guy took Bob Cook, who his role was to make the top guy look good, but Murdoch made Bob look good and sold for him and told that story. It made a lot more sense because Bob knew how to bump, Bob knew how to work, and could make Murdoch's stuff look even better. So I've used Bob as an example many times.
Nice, nice. Sam Hirschler, did you have a falling out with your brother?
No, he's just kind of busy these days.
So, a little busy.
A little busy these days. That's all.
Dr. Tom and Brother Love need to main event WrestleMania 41. It would be the most memorable event ever. Wow.
Woo! I don't know about that, but
what about Bruce in ring? I don't know about that. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a good worker.
Well, he's been there for years, so you tell me.
No, I mean as far as in ring.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You know, he was Brother Love. He had tag matches with Macho and oh gosh, Brother Love was in a 6-man. I think Macho and Sherri against Dream and Sapphire.
Sweet Sapphire.
I think was a handicap match. She did some tags against Dream back in the day. So but it was a gimmick. It was a gimmick.
Not a bad worker, you're saying.
Well, I think he's a great worker.
Nice. Grandma Daisy, Dr. Tom, were you in the first ever 40-man battle royal?
No, I was not.
40-man battle royal. It's too many. Ibsen, how was Sherri Martel in 1993 when you were both there in the WWF?
Sherri was great, and I've known Sherri even before I got to WWE. So, but she was always great.
Now, interestingly enough, they had the Dark Side of the Ring on Sherri Martel. I know you didn't see it, but obviously you know her very well. She kind of gave you, not a start in the business, but I mean, you knew her all the way back then when you were a young pup in this business.
Yeah. She managed Pat Rose and I in Memphis for a while, and she was a very, very nice lady. She was one of the coolest people I've ever been around. She actually, I broke my ankle in Louisville, Kentucky. It was against Steve Kern and Stan Lane, as a matter of fact, and I think it was Stan who came over and hit me, and where I fell off the apron and broke my ankle. I didn't know it was broke. And in Louisville, you had 2 flights of stairs you had to go down for the locker rooms, and I had to hobble down there and then hobble back up. And I worked a week with a broken ankle, and my ankle kept getting blacker and blacker, and I couldn't see what was wrong. Bill Dundee finally said, "Hey, you might want to get that checked." And Sherri came by. You know, we were all staying at the La Quinta Inn. You know, me and 3 other wrestlers. So sharing a room, and she came by and got me, took me to the hospital. Her roommate at that time, a lady named Tina, was a nurse, x-rayed my ankle, and sure enough, it was broke. They set it in a cast, and they fed me and took care of me for 2 weeks before finally I said, you know, I can't live off you guys. I got to go home. But before that, Tina gave me about, I think, 4 pair of doctor's scrubs to wear, you know, because you can put it over the cast and they were comfortable and easy to wear. So when I went to Pensacola, because I broke my leg and then went home to rehab, and after I was done rehabbing, Brad Armstrong would call, asked if I wanted to come to Pensacola, and that's where I was wearing my doctor scrubs one day, and after Dr. Love fell out of the picture, Robert Fuller looked at me and said, "Well, by God, you could be our doctor, son." So thanks to Tina giving me the doctor scrubs, I think that's how I fell into being Dr. Tom.
It's
So
all Sherri's fault. Stan Lane's fault,
yes,
but
it
it's all
is.
Sherri's fault. Yep.
Yeah. Well, not
I
bad.
love that. I love that. You didn't
Yeah.
see the Dark Side of the Ring yet, but you will.
I will when I get a chance. Tomorrow I won't have time. I have things to do before I leave, and then Friday I might have time Friday. Don't know.
Good episodes, pretty good. I just think some of the stuff I didn't know was about her son and stuff, and she kind of wasn't the greatest mom in the world. Let's be honest.
Well, we don't know the circumstances. I mean, everybody does the best they can, but there's circumstances. I came across a match. It was a mixed tag match where she's in Houston, Texas, when she's just starting out as Sherri Russell, and she's so young and beautiful and excited, and you never know what happens to somebody like that. So we only know what we know. We didn't see the whole picture.
Jason, hello, Dr. Tom, Mr. John. Hope you're well. Yes, Jason.
Jason?
Brendan, didn't realize that Sherri and Jake the Snake were that close. Does Dr. Tom have any good stories of Sherri that can be shared?
Well, I just shared one, and we used to ride together to the towns in Tennessee. She was a really fun loving person, nice person, very good. I never had a bad experience with her.
Barbara saying, I believe Jesse sued Vince McMahon and won. That's why he wasn't allowed back in the company. Yes, he did sue, and he did one of the very few guys to win, which he was in his right. Basically, he signed a deal and he was doing commentary and he's on all the VHS tapes. He's selling, being a salesman for the merchandise and all this other stuff. And they weren't giving him royalties or paying. So basically at one point they actually took his voice out of a lot of the like redubs and retapes and stuff, just so they wouldn't have to pay him anything. But they did have to settle, and he did beat them in court, justifiably so.
Oh yeah, but I mean, time heals everything, I guess.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah.
Do you think Barbarian or the Hercules are a Hall of Fame material?
You know what? Barb, yes. Herc, yes. But I don't know if it's too late for that or not. But I can see Barbarian going to the Hall of Fame
Totally,
for a
totally.
couple reasons. I think he was a loyal guy when he was there, and he could go out and make anybody look good, including himself. So yeah, I think Barb definitely could be there.
I would love to see it. And
Yeah.
Hercules. Scorch, it seems like most pro wrestlers with the first name Buddy have blonde hair. Buddy Rogers, Buddy Roberts, Buddy Rose, Buddy Landell, etc.
Well, I think it's a rule. If your name is Buddy, you have to have blonde hair. I think that was written in the rule books. Um,
Makes sense.
I'm trying to think. Buddy Fuller.
Hmm.
When there Buddy Fuller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he had blonde hair. Buddy Colt. He had blonde hair. Buddy Wolf. He didn't have blonde hair.
Speaking of Colt, by the way, last week, or I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, we were talking about Chris Colt.
Right.
And you had mentioned you don't think you wrestled him, but I looked it up and I found it on YouTube. And actually somebody sent it to me as well. 126.87 in Alabama for CCW. Chris Von Colt and Rip Rogers versus Tom Prichard and Adrian.
You're
Street.
right. You're right. And I think Adrian turned on me or I turned on Adrian. Something like that.
What do you think about that? You actually wrestled Chris Colt.
Well, it just goes to show you I didn't remember that. But yeah, I was around Chris for a while in Alabama. I like Chris.
And he was the Nazi gimmick. He was doing Chris Von Colt at that point.
He certainly was. in the deep South.
Interesting. Very interesting
Yeah,
gimmick there.
to
But
say the
I almost
least.
forgot to bring that up to you
Well,
that you guys
when I
did
said
wrestling.
Buddy Colt, yeah. See,
Yes. Craig, sometimes Portland guys come to Vancouver. Did you go there, or excuse me, did you hear anything about Al Tomko and the Vancouver territory?
I did wrestle in Vancouver, but not for Al Tomko. I think Sandy Barr at that time was promoting. So I really never met Al Tomko. I heard about Al Tomko, but never had the opportunity to meet him.
The Cooker is back. Bob Cooker said, I think Tom and I could have had a great match. I know it would have been an honor for
Well, it
me.
would have been an honor for me too because again, watching Bob work all these years, you knew that you would have a good match with. You just knew you'd look at some guys and have a good match with them, like George South. You just knew. And, and when I worked with George, it was exactly the kind of match that I thought we'd have. So yeah, I think the same thing, Bob. Thanks. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Would have been
The
awesome.
the Cooker. Barbara, I always liked Sherri Martel. It was heartbreaking to see her son struggle and her final days. She left us far too soon.
Well, her son was struggling.
Yeah, I think he has throat cancer. Part of his tongue they had to take out,
Oh my gosh. Well, that's terrible.
or maybe it's mouth cancer. But yeah, there's his tongue, and you could tell his face, because if you look at WWE Hall of Fame when she was inducted, he looks healthy, and then they were interviewing here. He didn't look very healthy, and one of her friends had mentioned that he had tongue cancer.
Wow. Well, that's terrible.
Interestingly enough, her friend Kathy Fitzpatrick, Booker T, a few times that I've seen him, always called her sister, and I never understood it. Now I finally, because she's Martel's best friend. I was like, oh, that's why. I never got it until I saw the
Sister
documentary of
Sherry.
why he always calls her friend sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
I could see that Sister Sherry and
Yep.
Sister.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that.
For sure. Sherry is up there when it comes to the best talkers in wrestling. Do you agree?
I do agree. She knew how to tell a story. She knew how to get the point across, and she knew what her role was, and she did enough to where she didn't take away from whoever she was managing. She understood what she was there for, and she added to everybody she worked with and worked next to,
Totally agree.
including Shawn Michaels.
She definitely enhanced them rather than take
Yeah,
away from them.
yeah,
Magazine Retriever said many wrestlers say they thoroughly enjoyed working with Sherri Martel. Even the Ultimate Warrior, who rode many people the wrong way, would rehearse spots with Sherri. She had that effect. So even the Ultimate Warrior liked her.
yeah. I could see that because Sherry was a sweet lady. She really was, and uh, it was on you if you couldn't get along with her because she got along with everybody, as far as I know.
I feel like her toughness was crazy, because some of those bumps, like falling off of a cage. Warrior, if you, even to go back to WrestleMania 7, man, he throws her around like a dart, and she's taking crazy bumps.
Yeah, she was a tough chick, no doubt. She was tough.
Did you like the Ultimate Warrior? That's the most important thing.
Well, of course, I love the Ultimate Warrior.
Speaking of that, Charles says, "I love you." Little brother love there.
Is that Brother Love or is that Charles?
Well, I think
I
he's
mean, I don't,
speaking from
I
brother
don't think
love.
he knows what he's talking about. Actually,
Please tell Dr. Tom to watch the Sandman episode of Dark Side of the Ring. He's pretty wacky, both in and out of the ring.
well, I know that. I knew Sandman when he first came to Memphis, and he was in the what is it, wetsuit. He was being a Sandman that way with the surfboard and things like that. So he was. I knew Sandman for a while, but I like him too. I like characters like that.
I haven't watched that Dark Side of the Ring yet. I will, and I want to. Just interesting though. Is it really like Dark Side worthy with Sandman? You know what I mean? Like, What did he do that was so obviously the drugs and stuff like that, but what did he do that was so bad as far as Dark Side of the Ring?
Well, what did they say that he did?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I would love
Oh,
somebody to explain how it's Dark Side, unless it's just kind of like a cheery one,
well,
trying to
you
change it
don't.
up a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want everything to be doom and gloom, do you? On the dark side, maybe a cheery dark side of the ring. Hell, I don't know.
Because it's not like he didn't have money. He had like a construction company. I mean, he was successful outside of the wrestling business, as far as I know.
Right. Well, then I don't know. I'll have to watch and find out.
Did you ever party with the Sandman?
Um, I'm sure I did because I was in ECW, and so was he. I was in ECW for a cup of coffee and just a little bit, but I'm sure if I was there and he was there, we might have partaken in some diet lemonade and brownies or something like that.
Nice. Sounds about right.
About right. Lemonade and brownies. Yeah.
Charles says Powers of Pain should go in together. Warlord and Barbarian. They were monsters in 1989.
Well, I agree with that too. They look like stars.
Oh, 100%. They still look good.
Yeah.
Still look like monsters. Did you know your brother ref the match of Rhythm and Blues versus the Hart Foundation in 1989? It was on Coliseum Video.
Yeah, I knew he'd done some refereeing and done some in ring stuff.
What
Sure
did you
did.
think? What did you think about him as a referee?
Of all the referees I've ever seen, he was certainly one of them.
Nice, well said. Do
Yeah.
you think that he had a future as a referee? Is that something that
No, I think had a future as an executive. That's what I thought.
very wise of you to say?
Hmm.
Has there ever been a wrestler with the first name Gorgeous that wasn't a heel?
I don't know because that's kind of a heelish name to call yourself. Gorgeous Gary Young, Gorgeous George, Gorgeous Junior Hernandez. Um,
Gorgeous
yeah, I
Jimmy
don't
Garvin.
know. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. I don't know if there is or hasn't.
Have you noticed that the name Gorgeous and then the guy that it's pertained to doesn't really look that great? You know what I mean? They're not good looking. Have you ever noticed that? It's almost like a little bit of sarcasm by the
Well,
guy.
Gino Hernandez was
Oh,
gorgeous.
besides, yeah, Gino. Yeah, besides Gino, I would say Jimmy Garvin. I don't know.
Well,
Gorgeous
I
George.
mean, that's where the heat comes from, I guess. Calling
Yes.
yourself great looking when you're not that great looking, or handsome
Yes.
when you're not that
Yes.
handsome.
Yes. I love that.
So,
Ragu says Sherry got hotter as she got older. Do you agree?
I agree. I agree. Yeah,
I feel like she always looked pretty good.
yeah, I thought so too.
Ibsen says Dusty and Sweet Sapphire versus Brother Love and Randy and Sherry was also a match that aired on Prime Time Wrestling. That's what Ibsen's here for. He's
Yeah,
got the facts here. Nice.
that's why that's what I thought it was. It was a handicap 3-on-2 match. They went around the
Did
horn with it.
did Bruce ever want to be a full time wrestler?
I think he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he ever get trained by the Iron Sheik?
No, no, he never did. But he came down and trained at Nick Kozak's place with us in Houston. So he got in there a few times.
He's got that football background, right?
Yes, he does.
Seems like a decent transition, football to wrestling, or
Well,
for the most
he
part.
had bad knees too, so that played a factor in it, I'm sure.
Dell, I thought it was cool when Sherry managed Harlem Heat, Sister Sherry.
I thought it was too. I thought she added a new dimension to those guys. Thought she did a great job.
That was kind of cool because it's like, wait, what is she doing? Why is she out here? And then she's like, I want to manage you guys. It's like, wow. And they made it work, and she was great with them.
Yeah, thought she was very great.
Mr. Showbiz guy. Sherry took a lot of big bumps from the boys.
She wouldn't back down from anybody or anything. Oh,
Her friend
yeah,
Kathy was saying on the doc that, man, she'd have like her back would be killing her. She'd have bruises all over the place, but she didn't care. She loved it.
right. She did love it. She was tougher than a lot of the guys.
Sherri and Medusa had one of the best feuds in the AWA back in the 1980s.
I showed some of their matches to the women who have come through JPWA and told them, watch how Sherri leads Medusa. I talked to Medusa about that too. And she told me that Sherri led her through all those matches. She was green, and Sherri helped her a lot.
Sherri pretty good in the ring as well. Besides being a good manager and a good bumper, she was good in the ring.
Yeah, she was great in the ring. If you couldn't have a good match with Sherri, you didn't belong in the ring, I thought.
High praise. John Seaton. Does Dr. Tom think Sherri was a better manager, valet, or wrestler? Loved the work ethic with Eric Embry. Your work ethic with Eric Embry.
The work I did with Eric Embry.
Work he did. I'm sorry. Work you did with Eric Embry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I thought Sherri was a great manager and wrestler. And I don't think she was better in one or the other. I think she was great at both.
Definitely more recognizable and more memorable as a manager because of WWF, I think, and all the
Right.
guys that she managed.
Right. But she also wrestled
Oh yeah, she beat
prior.
Moolah and everything. Yeah,
Yeah. So, but I think she was equally as good as a manager and a wrestler.
Sandman was the first one to bleed before he even entered the ring. Yes.
Was he?
I don't know. I can't, he would do that stupid beer thing over his head and crack himself open and go the hard way, bleed the
Well, I
hard way.
remember Moondog Maine would take glass and slice himself up before he got
Oh,
the ring.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, so not the first.
Yeah, I don't think he was the first.
Man, just what an entrance though for the Sandman.
Yeah. Yeah, Sandman had a good entrance. He was good.
Phil, hello Philly, just rolled in. Hello Philly.
Well, Phil, roll one up and have a good time.
Yes. He said Sherri always got his attention, especially as a young teenager.
I can understand that.
Yes, same here,
Certainly
Phil.
can understand.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Scorch, I am in favor of inducting Warlord and Barbarian into the Hall of Fame. The issue is that they were part of the concussion lawsuit.
Well, that might be a problem, but they definitely deserve to be there.
Totally agree. Love the Powers of Pain.
Yep.
ATF, baby. ATF Media, above the fold. Is there anyone else who would have fit the name Sandman, such as someone who has hands of stone?
Well, that's a good question because I think the Sandman was going to call himself the Hands of Stone before he got word that Ronnie Garvin might knock him out. So he said, well, I'll just use Sandman instead.
All right. That sounds.
Yeah, it works. It works as good as any excuse or explanation.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think the Sandman, that anybody else could have fit the name better outside of Ronnie Garvin? Do you think anybody else could have been the Sandman?
No. Especially what he turned into. The music, the pounding the beers. No, I think he was perfect for it.
From Charles. I'll never forget Sherri, quote unquote, selling the no hold barred match. She worked with Hogan Savage, all the main events for years at a star.
As a star.
As a star, yeah.
Well, that's what I think he meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. She knew how to sell whatever was going on in the ring, whatever was going on around her. She was great. She was perfect for this business. She was made for this business.
Her and Macho were awesome together. Queen Sherri, Macho Kid. I feel like that pairing is great. Plus, you throw in there Hogan. Hogan throws around. She takes bumps and everything else. So her and Savage were awesome together.
I agree. I thought they were great.
And she was very hateable when she would cut those crazy promos selling the match. Like, you wanted her to get her comeuppance.
Right. And that was her job. She did a great job.
Jason, Sherri Martel's appearance with Savage and Zeus on the Arsenio Hall show was a fun watch. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on YouTube.
I have not seen it. Have you seen it?
No, I got to check that out. I love. There's another clip when Savage is kind of like a baby face, and he's on Arsenio, and he's talking about how you can cry if you're a man. Like, I've seen that one with Macho. He was just awesome as like a guest on all these shows. But I got to see the one with Zeus. That sounds awesome. And
Yeah.
Arsenio Hall's like a huge fan.
Yeah. That was good. He enjoyed wrestling.
He loved having those guys on.
Yeah.
They would say when he would have other celebrities on, you know, like probably three guests, and the wrestler is the one guest out of the three, that he'd pay more attention to the wrestlers than the other two people combined. That he
I
was
can
very
see that.
focused in on the wrestlers.
Yeah, I can see that.
He definitely loved the business.
Yeah. No doubt.
Besides Sherri, who do you think was a great woman wrestler under the fabulous Moolah tree?
Was Medusa under Moolah?
No.
Wow. Okay. Rockin' Robin?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought Rockin' Robin was great.
Rockin' Robin.
Yeah.
And obviously Robin is on the dark side of the ring as well, because she was close with Sherri, and they wrestled a ton in WWF.
Yes. I thought she was a very good woman wrestler, competitor, whatever you want to call her.
When was the last time you saw Sherri? Was the conversation not about wrestling?
I saw Sherri in Kingsport, I think a year before she passed away. And I went to go see her specifically. We took a picture, Polaroid picture. And I don't know where it is. It's probably one of my files. But yeah, we just talked about old times. We talked about the when I broke my leg, and uh, just caught up.
Jake and Rockin' Robin speak of their dad, Grizzly Smith, getting Sherri into the business. He made her wait until she was 21.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Of all the things you hear about Grizzly Smith, making somebody wait till they're 21 is not something that
Right.
you would expect to hear from him.
Well, that's why I haven't heard that, I guess.
How did Cornette like Sherri?
I think Jim liked her very much. She was, I'd definitely say a thumbs up. She was, again, easy person to get along with, easy person to get to know, and uh, pretty much from the same territory or same part of the country. So, yeah, Jimmy liked her a lot.
Hey, Han, from Gabe Moore.
Gabe?
Gabe, hello. Barbara saying Arsenio used to call Sherri constipated Sherri. Love that.
Well, that's not very nice.
From Hannibal TV, the Mulkeys put Dr. Tom over in their recent interview with me. What are your thoughts on the Mulkey brothers?
Well, what'd they say about me?
I don't remember, perhaps, but I know I mentioned you, and they said they loved you, but I don't remember if it was in ring or outside the ring.
Okay, because I've seen the Mulkeys a few times. Didn't one pass away?
No, both still alive.
Who am I thinking of? Okay, I'm thinking of.
I don't know. I do not wish that upon the Mulkeys. Come on.
No, I don't wish that upon anybody.
Yeah.
One who was a cop in Charlotte.
The Batten brothers?
No. There was somebody who. Anyway, well, no, I thought the Mulkeys were a great team. They knew their role, and they go out and take bumps and did it well.
It was said that Jesse the Body Ventura and Kurt Hennig put in a word for Sherri Martel and word for Sherri and Medusa to Vince to get them in the WWF.
That sounds about right. Sounds like Kurt and Jesse would do that for them.
Constipated Sherri? Question mark. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah.
Wendy Richter, John is saying for Moolah. Yeah,
Wendy. Yeah, Wendy was a good worker too. You're right. I forgot about Wendy. How can I do that?
Missed it there. Did Dr. Tom go on the Arsenio Hall show? Or
No.
Arsenio type show with Cornette on national television?
No, never did.
Jake the Snake Roberts dated both Sherri Martel and Missy Hyatt, who also Dr. Tom dated. Have you heard any other lady wrestlers that Jake had dated?
Now, dated is kind of a tricky word there. I mean, does that mean? Well, never mind. I think I know what it means.
Yeah,
No, I have not heard of anybody else that Jake has dated. I knew Jake's first wife, Cheryl, but that was it.
I think they're back together now, Cheryl and Jake.
Yeah, I think so too. But I haven't talked to Jake in a while, so I don't know. How many guys are going to be at the '80s convention?
There was quite a few, 30 or 40. I think there was quite a
Oh
few because
wow,
Demolition, Powers of Pain. Man, I'm trying to remember. Sergeant Slaughter was there. Stan Hansen was there. Kurt Fuller, who was the villain from No Holds Barred, playing Brell with Zeus, he'll be there. Yeah, I think it was about 30 guys. It was a lot.
wow. Okay, how far is it from Newark?
40 minutes, maybe less. It's not.
Okay.
It's not terribly far.
Well, I get in late Friday night, so I guess I guess somebody will be there to take me to where I need to be.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
good.
Um, Sherry, Mr. Showbiz guy says Sherry's wedding to Colonel Robert Parker was great television. Yes,
Yeah, I miss that one too.
very funny. WCW. They're great chemistry together. They were like I don't know, like an odd couple, but they worked. But he had his stud stable. She had the Harlem Heat. They were hated each other, they were feuding. But he tried to like make it up, like make them happy, make her happy. It was very interesting, very funny.
Robert's a great guy. Robert's a funny guy anyway. So I could see that. Colonel Parker.
30 minutes.
Oh,
He said
30
30.
minutes from Newark. Should have asked Ibsen to begin with.
Yes. If you need a ride, he's there. Ibsen will pick you up.
Well,
But
Tommy said somebody's going to pick me up, I guess.
yeah, yep.
So cool.
But just in case you have a backup plan, you have Ibsen.
Awesome. Awesome.
Were you thinking about the Valiant brothers, Dr. Tom?
Well, they're in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yes, I
But
like
the
the
one
Valiant.
passed away, obviously. Johnny V passed away. Were you thinking
Johnny
of?
B did. Didn't he step out in front of a bus?
Yeah, he got hit by a bus. Yeah, crazy. He was trying to cross the street.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, hope that doesn't happen to anybody anytime soon.
Jake mentioned he was with Missy when he tried to rib Hawk and almost got strangled to death for it.
Oh, well, I don't know what he was trying to rip Hawk about, but you have to ask Jake.
Yes. Ibsen saying the 80s con will have 40 wrestlers in total at the show. A lot of wrestlers will be there. And then
Oh,
there's a lot of other stuff going on, like Bill Apter's hosting something, and there's a bunch of other things going on, like other activities going on that day as well. And I know there's going to be wrestling matches right afterwards, too.
well, I think I'm flying out that night.
Yeah. But this
Yeah.
is like directly after. I think it starts at 4 o'clock, the wrestling show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I didn't know how long the convention was.
Yeah, usually there's a break between, but there's about I think right after the convention's over, maybe half hour, and then boom, the wrestling starts.
Wow. Okay, how long does it usually go for?
The
2 hours?
wrestling's less than 3 hours usually.
Okay, cool.
15-foot high steel cage will be up. I believe Crowbar is wrestling Danny Doring in a steel cage
Is
match
that right? Wow. Okay.
later on that night, but they'll have the steel cage up for anybody that wants to take pictures. So that's kind of a cool
Ah,
thing.
very cool.
Wrestling trivia as well. If anybody's good at wrestling trivia, I remember last year they had wrestling trivia stuff like that, but they also had the sons and daughters of famous wrestlers had a little panel, little Q&A going on.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Look, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be one of the more fun weekends. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Charles says, "Why do you think the women's wrestlers from WWE that went to AEW have not been presented as well or looked as good? Paige, Sasha, the Riot Girl, etc. Ruby, I guess it's
I
Ruby Riot.
I just think that AEW doesn't know how to present their stars as stars. That's just my honest opinion. They are giving guys a place to go, but when somebody comes over like a Paige or Sasha, I don't. I just don't think they're experienced in how to present them.
The only one really that's been good is Tony Storm, but you could tell that she's totally doing that on her own. That gimmick, like it's almost like a joke. I know they added the production value and turned it black and white and stuff, but that's just her doing a cool like 1920 style gimmick.
And it's getting over.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
She's great. Yep.
yeah, I think
Uh,
so.
John Seaton, what kind of feedback, if any, did Dr. Tom get from female wrestlers about his angle with Tony Anthony and Kimberly?
I never got any feedback from female wrestlers about that. That was a different time, a different era too, different place. Can't get away with that now.
No. I'd
Or
like
or
to
maybe you can, looking around what's going on in the world today. Maybe you can. Hell, get canceled
crazy,
right out here. Yeah.
crazy world. I'd like to talk to Tom.
Yes.
Phil is saying Darby Allen was hit by a bus in New York City just the other day. Broken nose, I think, and facial wounds for real. He was going to a show with his friends, with I guess a friend, and they still went to it. Wild.
Yeah. Yeah. What can you say? I mean, hey man, I just got hit by a bus. I got to make the show. Mm.
He also had an autograph signing that next day in New Jersey. He made the signing. He was just wearing a thing over his nose.
Wow. Well, he's a tough kid too.
Yeah, he's a tough SOB. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. I don't think he minds getting hit by the bus. You know what I mean? Like he just like a badge of honor almost for him.
Pretty much. I can see that.
Crazy. Remember he got thrown down a flight of stairs in AEW just part of an angle? Like he's just crazy, the bumps he takes. He just went through glass in that Sting match. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, do it while you're young. But he maybe have trouble walking by the time he's 40,
Yeah.
maybe 30.
Yep.
I don't know.
Barbara's saying she's very impressed by so many current female wrestlers such as Ivy Nile, Tiffany Stratton, Katana Chance. How essential is it for the modern female wrestlers to have a gymnastic background?
I think it helps tremendously because of the way the style's going these days, and it goes for the men as well. It's different different audience than when I was growing up, different style, different everything. So I think it's I don't know how essential it is, but I think it certainly helps.
Yeah, they got a bunch of gymnasts now, and then they're
Yeah.
usually the female ones are really good.
Yeah, I saw somebody do a cartwheel on the top rope the other day. Who was that?
Oh, I don't know if I
Uh,
saw that.
yeah, it was one of the women, and it was a high spot from NXT. Did a cartwheel. She had was looked like an old school. She was had the hand. Then she did a cartwheel from the top rope with still holding the hand.
Oh
I don't
wow.
know. Yeah,
Oh,
into DDT.
Soul Raka, her name is. Yeah, yes, she's a gymnast background too. Yeah, she's a freak athlete.
Right. So obviously it helped her.
Yeah, and there's another one, Kaylani Jordan, who's awesome. Like she does crazy athletic moves. She just posted a video, I guess, of her like gymnast career. It's like, oh my god, this girl is like an insane athlete.
Well, they have a lot of great athletes at the PC, and I guess what they're doing now is, because these are trained athletes or coachable, they all they have to do is say, "Here, take 3 steps this way," and they know how to do that. So,
Yeah,
the main thing today is being coachable and being able to listen.
bring some books. Ibsen saying, speaking of bringing some books, where
Ooh.
could everybody get your book?
Well, they can get the book at jpwrestlingacademy.com. Click on the training tab up the top of the page, and you can get the book. But I wonder if I should bring some books.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'll try and pack a couple things for this Saturday. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to bring a whole lot of stuff back though.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah. So
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Two Man Power Trip. You can follow Dr. Tom at Dr. Tom Prichard. Dr. Tom, of course, will be at 80s Con this Saturday as well. Just one final thing here from ATF. Any chance Darby Allin was hit by the hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin? Any chance?
while he was wearing a yellow coat and on a bus, that's a good point. That's a really good point because Garvin can be a master of disguise, and that is a possibility that that Ronnie did knock him out.
All right. Dr. Tom for Hall of Fame as well. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. See you right back here and next week for a little Take You to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. We'll see you next week, folks.